Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast, the podcast where we discuss both video production and just life in general. The goal of this podcast is the same as the goal of our business, to make a difference in people's lives.
This is going to be a fun one.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's crazy construction happening right beside us.
We're fine.
It's pretty bad.
Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast.
Yeah.
And today we are angry. Not angry.
Well,
Just disappointed.
disappointed.
Tell us why.
Yeah, today I wanted to talk about what happens when, as a creative, you know in your soul that the idea you have is the best idea. And because of people in power that don't understand the vision, or I don't know, they just don't understand, like they're scared, like how frustrating that is.
Yeah. It is very frustrating, for sure.
So when we get in these situations where we're told, we want you to be creative, we want you to think outside the box, we want to do something completely new for our company or our brand, and then we come up with ideas that we have proven by showing to other people, talking about it, that it's a good idea, and then the ones that you talk to are like, this is a great idea, never gonna happen.
It's tough. It sucks. It's hard.
I don't get mad often, do I?
You really don't. You get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you get frustrated at your computer or, like,
Yeah, sure.
things not working, but you don't stay. Like, you're not a sustained load anger person.
I guess the problem is, like, doing what we do so much corporate work. We do so many corporate videos. Now, we do a lot of other things too, but that's primarily what we do. And I understand that those have to be serious, informational, like kind of cut and dry. Like people aren't going to be surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to get their information the best way that they can. And we pride ourselves on doing a really excellent job at that, where you tend to forget you're even watching a video when you're watching some of our videos, because you're just being informed. And then when we get presented,
and that's the best you can do. We should hold on for a second.
Sure.
Like, when it comes to corporate, forgetting that you're watching the video is the best you can do.
That's what we want.
That's the best you can do.
Right. But when the goal is this video needs to get attention,
It needs to get clicks.
it needs to get clicks and views, and then we sell. So it's like it gets your attention, and then you're sold the product, the name, the brand, whatever. That is what works. And when we have an idea that we know works, and we're told that's too out of the box, I get mad.
Yeah.
We made the sale.
Yeah.
Like, we made the sale.
It was, yeah.
It's a good sale. But we have to, like, conform when we were told be creative. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to talk about this. It's just like, I'm in the moment. Like, this is me. This is like the real me. And I think that sometimes this podcast, while I think it does an excellent job of like showing our personalities and stuff, there's a side to this that, like, it's not always fun.
And I think we're bad at letting ourselves show our true, like, oh, we're angry, you know, like, oh, there are bad days, you know, all the time.
You're saying like we need to.
Yeah, we don't do a good job at doing that.
Yeah. Like this is a business just like any other business. Every day is not fun and happy, and, you know, even if we post on Instagram like shooting this today, it's like that doesn't mean that it was at the most excellent time of our lives. It was hard. It's work.
Yeah.
You know, is everything okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I see messages, so I'm like, it's all right.
I just got added for the first time in Motion VFX Slack, and I was like, oh, God.
Oh, okay. So we're just, again, like, I'm not talking about any specific brand, any specific company. I'm just saying in general, like, man, it's frustrating when, like, part of the reason that we're being paid is to have ideas that we know are going to get people to look at it, and we know in our soul this is going to work. And it's like, yeah, but we love it, but our bosses are not going to like that. And I'm like, dude, your bosses are like, I'm sorry, like, most of them are probably a little older and not, like, in touch with, like, what works nowadays. And I wish that one of these companies would give us...
Be brave.
Yeah, be brave.
And you know what? It's like, this is a great example. George, have you watched the new season of Stranger Things?
I have not watched the new season of Stranger Things.
I don't watch Stranger Things, but George does. So, right? George is 36, and he doesn't have time to watch the new episode of Stranger Things. How are these 50-plus, 60-year-old people... If George is out of touch by 10%,
Yeah.
they're out of touch by
80,
and they're not even media people,
Right.
You know, that are making the decisions too.
Like, and again, we're talking about the higher ups.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And we're not talking about any specific brand. It just, we started thinking about it, and there are some, you know, things that we have going on that,
because here's how it goes.
it's like, I'm mad, but I'm like sad.
Yeah.
And again, we made the sale. So I don't know why I'm so upset, but I'm just like, oh!
Here's the steps. I've watched this happen many times, and you know how I'm like an observant pattern looking person.
Yeah.
So here's how it goes every time. All right, so they have a marketing person at a company.
Okay.
Any company. This has happened to us at least a dozen times
Right.
since I've been working here. Which is a long time now, a decent amount of time now. They have a marketing person who's like on the younger side. They get it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, they seek us out because they know that we're creative. We have an intro meeting. It's great.
Amazing.
They love our ideas. We come up with great ideas. The meeting ends. We come up with more ideas. We
Yeah.
have another meeting. We tell them those ideas, and they're like, well, you see, and then it's like, oh, here it is again. Because they have talked to whoever is in charge, or they've bounced ideas off of whoever, and they've realized that they like our ideas, and they know that we're right, but they have to back off because they're not the ones that at the end of the day make the call. Which is interesting because it's like, why are you hiring a marketing person?
I know that we talk about motion VFX all the time, but you know who doesn't do this?
Motion
VFX. They let us do,
Yeah.
for the most part, whatever we want, and they're thriving. And
Yeah.
it's not just us, obviously. Like, they make incredible products. That's why. Like, we're not the reason for that, but we definitely contribute. If we didn't, we wouldn't still be working with them. Yeah, we're like, okay, let's freaking hire, like, a DeLorean from Back to the Future and, like, fly around behind it with a drone. And then, like, I'll go behind it in a Marty McFly costume and scream, take me back to the, we have to go back to the future. And they're like, that's great, do it.
And what's actually interesting is the creative part is not even the part that they're specifically like focused on. They trust us so much. They just watch like we can be honest, I think about this. They give us more notes on the tutorial than they give us on the intro 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's not the creative side. It's
No.
like, all right, cool. Like, hey, creative is great. Now, change the font to this font because that looks better. Things like that.
Yeah.
So
And that's why it works so well.
Anyway, we love you, Motion VFX. We love all of our clients. We really do. And again, this isn't aimed toward any specific people, but just there are frustrations in every job, and this is one of those frustrations that we don't talk about often, that everyone struggles with, even if they're in a creative position like us, or if they are an analyst or something, and they're trying to explain to the board, no, you must do it this way, and the board is like, no. You know what I mean? So,
And keep in mind, we're lucky. Like, we have a motion VFX.
Mm-hmm.
There's many, many people that do not. Or like, imagine, okay, we had David Barker on the podcast. He gets to be creative and do some out of the box stuff, but that's just like the things he shows people. We talked to him.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people where he's working with like BMW, and I'm sure he has a great idea where like the car jumps this and does this, and they have the money for it, and they're paying him the money for it because he does bigger budgets than us.
yeah.
And they're like, we just want a regular car commercial. I'm sure that happens to him all the time. And we don't even need to ask him.
Fine.
He's like, whatever.
Oh, man. Okay. It's okay. I mean, I've come down a little now. I'm not as upset.
Did you almost cry when it was over out of frustration?
No.
Okay. Your eyes looked watery. And I was.
That's probably like the heat was rising in my face. Because I was like, and y'all, I mean, again, y'all are and Gavin is helping me like stay. It's like, we're still doing the videos. We're still getting the job, but it's just not as crazy as I wanted it to be. And they'll still be good. They'll still be funny. Like, but I wanted George humor. Yeah. I wanted like wacky stuff.
Another great one. I have another great client that we got to do this with. Visit Tuscaloosa.
Heck yeah, man.
That was awesome. Yep. They were like, there were constraints, but they were very willing to let us be ridiculous with it, and they've performed pretty well. I'm pretty sure their kind of videos. Like, so we, like I said, we're lucky, but also that is why it's so infuriating because they're like, look at this. Like,
we know what we're doing.
People watch Ben Moon eating a tomato.
Yeah.
You know, like if you either know exactly what I'm talking about, listener, or you have no idea what I'm talking about. But
all right, are we done ranting now?
No. Because I have like a deep overall.
All right, let's get deep now. I've calmed down a little. I'm very appreciative of all of our clients. I'm appreciative of the work that we get to do. And for the most part, most of them are totally fine with our ideas. It's just that most of them, we know that our ideas have to be fairly simple. And so when we get told, you get to be as crazy as you want, and I'm like, all right, let's get crazy. It's like, oh, not that crazy. And I'm like, no.
I'm about to say something kind of deep, and it might.
Okay.
People have got the message to hire Seed Digital Media, but they have yet to get the message to hire Seed Creative.
Yeah. Yep.
Let that sink in for a second.
No, I get it. Seed Digital Media is the old brand name. And it was even branded and marketed as, we do corporate video and everything is professional and we are going to do it this way because that's what you want. And that's what you like.
And people come to us for that.
Sure.
All the time.
And it's great. Like that's where we make our living. But like, dude, BF Goodrich is fantastic. I've had creative ideas of making safety videos, and they're like, yeah, do it. And, like, we got to do some really cool, creative safety videos. They were awesome. But, again, it's like you can't be too out there for a safety video, or you turn into the safety video that's, like, gone viral where people are, like, losing limbs. And have you seen this?
No.
Oh, my gosh. It's insane. It's like you become a meme. It's like, okay, well, now no one's going to take you seriously. And we're back.
So what were we talking about?
I don't know. Real quick, our cameras, our Sumo, we didn't format the card, and so it got full.
Always format your card.
Always format your card.
Never second guess whether or not you've dumped your footage.
So if you're only listening, you don't know that the screen went black for maybe a few minutes or seconds. If you're watching the video, then you know what happened. And I don't know where I was, to be totally honest, because since the last time you saw us, about 20 minutes has passed.
We talked about BF Goodrich. We were just talking about, like, being creative. So
all right. So if you're listening to the full episode, you kind of know what's going on. However, I'm going to create something really quickly that might be a little bit other companies might be a little too scared to do. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just big-headed or something. But this will be to get attention for, like, an Instagram reel.
Okay, I was about to say, we need to be specific. Everything we do is to get attention.
Well, sure, everything we do is for attention, but this is to build a little controversy. So here we go.
Wait, Chris is going to be upset that you do this. So do you think?
I think that the goal is to get people to watch this video.
Okay.
So they understand the context.
Okay.
So
this is all him, not me.
If you're going to hire us and you don't like our ideas, you don't have to work with us. It's as simple as that. What we're here to do is be creative, right? Like if a company comes to us and say, we want you to be creative. And then we're like, all right. And we are creative. And then they're like, well, not that creative. And we're like, we can find someone else to work with.
That's it.
Okay. So that's not what I would say. No, it's a little bit what I would say, but it almost feels like that's how I feel. But again, we're still going to work with our clients. We're still going to work with people, even if we have differing opinions, but it feels that way internally when you know how right an idea is.
So we're going to post that on TikTok?
Sure. But doesn't it make sense?
It does.
It's like that you feel that sort of commitment. And here's what I would say. All right, this is going to also be part of it. And here's the thing. You would want to work with someone that has this level of passion for what they do. We know what we're doing. That's why we do it. That's why we've built several careers out of it, is because we know what we're doing. So there has to be a level of trust involved as well. We trust you to provide us with the funds to create this content. So you need to trust us to know that we have your best interest in mind. We're not going to make a video that's going to make you look bad. That's not our job. Our job is to make a video that's going to get attention for your company, that's going to train your employees, whatever. That's what we do. So I do ask, if you're going to work with Seed Creative, trust us. Trust Seed Creative. And you need to watch the entire video so that you have context as to what I'm talking about right now.
I hope that all fit in a minute. I'm not sure. We'll see.
It will.
You think so?
Yeah. We can cut it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? The analogy I think here makes sense is like, if you hire somebody to build a fence and you have the money to buy the nicest fence, and this fence is going to add tremendous value to your property, and then you come back and you're like, listen, like my husband or spouse, they don't really care about that fence being nice, and they don't care about it, but you're trying to sell your house. People are going to drive by, and if there's two houses next to each other, that fence is going to make a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah. I got kind of lost in the analogy, but you know what I mean.
Well, and it's almost like, well, my husband says that you're not doing the fence the right way when you're the you're the professional, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do. And then when my results aren't what I wanted, it's like, it's your fault, even though I'm the one that told you to change things. That's where this is really boiling down to. We know what needs to happen to get the results that you want. And so we're like, okay, if these are the results you want, this is what you need to do. And then you're like, well, we want the results without the commitment to risk.
Because we're equation people, okay? We start with the results of the equation, and we work backwards.
Yep.
Or we're like reverse operations
to
figure out how to get there. They want 1 million views on this video, or they want however many, or they want this many sales from this video to make it worth it. How do we get there from that? And we're like, well, we know what works and what doesn't work, and we have to come up with a number that, whatever that comes to that.
I have something else, because I know that people watching this or listening to this might, I'm fired up right now, but they might say, well, why don't y'all have a video with 1 million views? Let me tell you why. Because that's not our goal. Like, we don't want 1 million views. We don't care about that. What my goal is to get more clients to grow my business. Getting 1 million views doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen. Tell you what does work, though: going to chamber meetings, going to chamber events, passing out our business card, talking to the people that are in power that make the decisions for sales like we made earlier. That's what we are doing. So we're doing a lot of this stuff behind the scenes. But guess what? I know what it takes to make a video if we wanted to have a bunch of views. And it's just we don't do it because that's not our goal right now.
And this podcast is like a good example of, like, I've talked about this many times, like the indirect results, but this is part of the equation, the Seed Creative equation. It's like, sure, you look at this and most, they have like 50 views or something.
Yeah.
But those are like 50 significant views, or 49 plus my mother. I love you, Mom. I'm kidding. for like 50 significant views that come to us and say, I saw your podcast.
Sure.
I see who you people are. I like you. I want to work with you. And that turns into boom.
We've rented the podcast studio. We've done the podcast several times.
We have a new podcast client we signed today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so that's working. And again, our goal isn't necessarily to use this podcast to get a bunch of people listening to See Creative. And like, yeah, it's cool if that happens, but our goal is to create a lot of content that we can show we're consistent. We know what we're doing. We've been able to do this over and over and over again. And it's working for us. I don't give a crap how many views a video has. I don't care. If it gets 5 views and one of those views is someone that's going to give us a job, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
I hate it when people say that, but they don't mean it.
We mean it.
We walk the walk, dude. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about how many views a video has. I don't care how many people don't like it. I care about if the person that likes it, like, is a person that is going to work with us and there's like a mutual benefit to that relationship. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
I don't care if you edit a video in Sony Vegas, in Final Cut Pro, in Adobe Premiere, Avid. I don't care. Like, I don't care. None of that matters. All that matters are the actual results that are at the bottom line, that we're making money and we're growing and we're achieving the goals that we want to achieve with making a difference in people's lives, with creating an impact for a company that we work with, whatever. Like, and a lot of that stuff is behind the scenes because we're not going to flash around, hey, look, this client of ours used a video and made a $68 million sale, which has happened with our video. So it's like, that's what matters. And guess what? No one knew about it. No one listening to this knew that has happened. No one listening to this knows that there is story after story after story of your video. Someone remembered that and they didn't lose their hand on the job site.
Or that sale. I mean, the sale is like a combining of 2 companies. We don't have to be specific,
right?
Or multiple. That gave people jobs,
dude.
Yeah. I mean, it was not we didn't make the merger, like we didn't sign the papers,
but it was
we were part of it. Yeah,
yeah. And again, no one knows about it, and it doesn't have any views on YouTube. That $68 million transaction, that doesn't have views on YouTube. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. Like, who cares?
Because that's not the audience.
Anyway.
They wanted to show it to one room of people.
So let's back up. So if your goal is to get a $68 million merger, we will make a video that might be able to help you with that. If your goal is to get 1 million views on TikTok, we know how to do that too. The difference is, are you going to listen to what we say or not? Because you are not going to get the results you want if you come to us and say, be as crazy and wild as you want, and then we are, and then you're like, ooh, back up a little bit. This is scary. Like, well, I mean, that's fine. We'll back up, but it's not going to get your results.
Their idea is like, what if we had, hear me out now, 2 talking heads? That's out
instead
of the box.
Of one?
That's creative as crap.
Whoa, really? Where they could talk back and forth. What if it was... What if it was a man and a woman talking back and forth together? And what if one of them was a little older and one was younger? That's crazy.
And they can make jokes about being so different.
Oh, dude, that's well, I don't know. That's too much.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
right. They gotta be the same.
We can't make jokes about how one is older and one is younger. That's too risky.
Yeah, that is pretty risky.
And you know what? Honestly, it's a little risky to have 2 people on camera. So why don't we just do the guy? We'll just have the guy on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put a pair of safety glasses.
But look, we can still make a great video. Like, that's our conversations. That's what happens there.
You're getting me re-mad. Not mad.
That's what happens, though. It's like, dude, we could do this and this and this. And they're all like, yeah. And then they start getting scared.
If they said no at the beginning, it would be like
it'd be totally different. Yeah. But like, it's mind blowing because it's like everyone knows this. Typically, you're gut reaction, your gut feeling, your gut response to something is the right one. Everyone says it, right? So why in our meetings is your gut reaction to laugh, to love it, to clap at us and say, this is genius? Why is that your gut response? And then you start backpedaling and you're like, oh, well, I'm scared. It's like, we're not breaking any laws. We're not messing with anything within your legal department. Like, we're not really even like doing anything necessarily against brand guidelines.
I mean, I think here's the thing is like, we're not, dude, this is exactly it. We're the only ones that are bold enough. The people that we're talking to are not bold enough to take it to the people that they have to get the money from.
Yeah.
Because like, if we were pitching to you and your job was to be talking to Seed Creative and get them to, you would turn around and be like, I believe in this. I'm going to pitch this. But it's like they don't even give us a chance to pitch it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think whoever or like the next people that this happens to, we're going to give them the great idea and they're going to go, I love this. They're going to hate this, but I'm going to at least try it.
That would be great.
That never happens.
And I said this to you earlier in a certain situation where I was like, I wish I could just talk to their boss on their behalf. Because it's like, what if their boss isn't as closed-minded as they think?
But they just expect it.
They expect it.
But it's like, where did these ideas come from? It's like, why did they even approach it from, we want it super creative? Is it like a breakdown and like the difference in the people in the company? It's just very weird.
I don't know.
It's very strange.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
This was fun, and I hope that that those of you that watched this video came from Reels or TikTok or wherever we posted me acting like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get you if you don't do what we say. Again, I want to make it clear. Obviously, that was for attention. But that's the kind of stuff it takes where it's like, get them in, and then you're going to drive your views.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the point.
I mean, I could talk about this a little bit too. I started another podcast.
You did, and it's doing very well.
And it's because
congratulations.
Thank you. It's because and my goal is to give views. So my goal is totally different than this podcast. And one thing that I'm doing is being very like saying things that people are afraid to say.
Controversial.
Like, and it's not like it's about Formula One. So it's like, I don't like this team. You know, it's like, but like, there's a reason people watch like angry sportscasters and stuff, you know, like this will be an interesting test. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
So,
well, and again, let me say this. Our ideas for the company were just silly. They weren't even controversial. It's like, this is just funny. Like, dude, think about it. Have you ever heard of Purple mattresses?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I don't watch regular TV anymore, so that's probably why.
Have you ever heard of Poo-Pourri?
Yes.
Okay. Poo-Pourri were some of the kind of pioneers with just absolutely in-your-face, silly, ridiculous commercials. And they have sold billions of dollars worth of their product.
Yeah, Poo-Pourri. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Purple mattresses is the same concept. Like, they've had a lot of really silly, out there sort of commercials. There's lots of people. Chamber Media is a company that I really look up to because they are bold and willing to do it. I actually just added Travis, the owner, on Facebook the other day, and I'm hoping I can form a relationship with him because like he's doing what I see Seed Creative doing. But he has been able to find clients that are willing to do it. And you know what's funny too is the ones that I'm noticing that they work with were all these young, smaller companies that probably had more to risk with a silly video, and it paid off.
Willing.
And it paid off.
Because if like, I'm trying to think of like a company that we could say like, if Target comes to us and is like, hey, make this silly video, and they spend, I don't know, a big number.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah.
That would be like, well, we lost $1 million if it didn't work out, which it would.
Right.
But it would 100% work out. but their risk is $1 million. That's like
Nothing.
nothing to them.
Yeah.
I mean, no, $1 million is not nothing to anybody, but to them, compared to like your local like gas station chain,
Sure.
like, you know, that is a big risk for them.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like, why is it those people? So it's like, maybe we're going after the wrong. Maybe we need to be looking for someone like a partner.
Well, let's just say this: even the people that we have had these recent conversations with, we didn't look for them. I mean, people reach out to us at this point, you know. And I've said that before, and it's not like in a bragging way, but it's, I guess, if anything, it's just a confidence that, and it's just pure fact. It's math. It's numbers. We don't have to make sales anymore because they come to us. Why? Because of the results that we give our other clients. Why are they getting these results? Because we know what we're doing, we have good ideas, and they're willing to do them for the most part.
Well, also, like, you know, that sounds bad, like the way you say it, but if you think about it, I'm just big on analogies today. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it. But like, you're a local restaurant, okay? Like, we love Hooligans, okay? I'm going to talk about them specifically, okay?
Yeah, what is there, like 2 locations, I think?
Yeah, okay, 2 or 3, okay? Like, they probably, when they first opened, put out flyers, a bunch of stuff, but now they don't. I've never seen a single
Any
ad,
advertising, yeah.
but every time I go to Hooligans,
it's packed.
It's packed.
Yeah.
They had one location that they just closed because they wanted a bigger location.
Right.
That was there for like, since what, like the 70s?
Forever. I don't know, yeah.
And super small, but like, they don't have to advertise.
No.
But because, and I'm sure they've had tough times, but like, they don't have to advertise. So it's like the same thing. It's like, they are now a recognizable name. So in like Tuscaloosa, people know C Creative.
Right.
So it's like that's why I'm saying it's not so bad that we're all like, we don't make the calls. It's like, you don't, like, you're not like, what am I going to eat today? Well, I'll see what they put flyers on my.
Sure.
And SEO too is also a thing. So sorry.
You
SEO
good?
is also a thing. Yeah, I just like choked on something.
Well, look, I'll say that I'd say 80% of our new business comes from referrals.
Yeah.
And that, like, this was a referral. Like, so that's where it's like, we're obvious, like, something is going right.
And we're, again, even though now we are referencing someone specifically that we're not saying, we're still doing about them.
Yeah, we're working with them. It just, like, it started the thought and the process of, oh man, like, this is something that happens regularly and we haven't talked about it.
And also, I will say, to the credit of the team that we just talked to, and we can cut this out if you don't think we should say this, but like, we pitched them something and it was on like a 10 and they said we need to dial it back to like a 5. I do think that most people would say a 1, dial it back to a 1.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that at least they're letting us do a 5.
Sure.
And I think that's okay to say, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah. So like, I think they're being bold in some ways. We want more because we want more for them, because we hate putting out products that we know this is the best we can do for the constraints, but we want to do better for you.
I don't want anyone to come back and say, yeah, these videos just aren't really doing what we wanted. These videos aren't doing what we expected. That's not how we get repeat business. How we get repeat business is, these videos have blown up. Let's do more, you know? And I know if we did it the way I said it, they would do more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's joking, by the way. He has a funny expression on his face.
I'm not joking.
But
like, they would do more if we
you're not actually screaming.
No, I'm being silly.
You're going to do that in a dark room later. But let's shift a little more as we wrap up.
We'll dial back.
Wrap up.
Yep.
I just want to say that there is a project we're working on right now that we're not going to say what it is, but it is, I believe, will come to fruition.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to, we've talked about like, well, if it fails, but we're going to make it work. So that is one of the most creative things we've ever made. Would you say?
Yeah.
Is it the most creative thing we've ever made? It's like, it's kind of hard to like relate things.
It's not the most creative, but it's the biggest concept.
It's the most out there concept.
biggest concept.
Okay. Well,
I would say what we pitched.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. What we pitched earlier might have been the most out there.
But we're not making it.
I know.
So what I'm saying.
Oh, dang it.
So that's why I'm saying this is the most out there thing that we've made.
By the way, someone wants to have a meeting with us right now, so we're probably going to.
Okay. Well, anyway, long story short, we're making this thing. And when we talk about it, probably in December
or January.
We might.
December.
It might be out by November. They want it out by November.
November, December, January, February, March, April, or May.
If we're not talking about by January, I'm going to be upset. I'm calling it this year. It's either not going to happen or we're talking about it this year.
Okay.
We will prove ourselves.
Sure. Also, I love Apple. All right, here's the end. Goodbye. This podcast was produced by Nick Golden with executive producer George Edmondson, edited by Nick Golden and Gavin Manning. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like and a comment. Tune in every Monday for brand new podcast content, and we'll see you on the next one.